MakingStarWars.net.
Hey everyone, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, and I brought the neighborhood. We got Rob, and I'm pretty sure he's graffitiing something on his desk. He's not supposed to be doing that. We got Jesse playing with toys.
I stole Bespin's mailbox. I'm tagging it up right now.
Because you guys are arch enemies.
He'll get his mail. I gotta get done with it first.
Yeah, we got Jesse playing with toys. We got where are you in a spaceport, James?
I am, yes.
Wait. Ooh. This is spaceport, James?
The Galactic Star Cruiser.
Yeah. This is the poor man's
for
version.
$600, right? For that.
They need a jazz man. He's your guy.
You better than the video they put out.
And then we got Max. Hi, Max. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Yes. We are just kind of having a more relaxed day today because, I didn't really feel like doing an article today. I was going to do one, and I was like, you know what? These people are just going to have to wait. That's what I decided. You know what I mean? Why not? Mm-hmm. And then there's been stuff like I was on Star Wars Santa Show today. So if you want to see like a hour and a half long discussion on it, check out Star Wars Santa Show basically. But the Bad Batch had some social media posts put out like over the summer on August, I want to say. And Santa shows the pictures of it and everything. He proves it. And it's like, it says that Bad Batch is coming on May 4th. But there hasn't been anything since then. And I'm kind of the mindset or theory that Bad Batch that Bad Batch social media post may have used old copy because they didn't get any new copy. And then for whatever reason, the old copy went out. And now it seems like it comes out May 4th. But if it is coming out May 4th, it's very strange that they're being so heavy-handed with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Unforgiving Steel's all, hi, what? This isn't Star Wars Theory? I could tell you some theories if you want. I think Chewbacca was an inside job. But anyways, yeah.
Faked his own death.
He faked his own death. The George Lucas Super Live Adventure, I think, is actually a George Lucas fever dream that we're all in, and reality doesn't actually exist. We are all just part of George Lucas's Super Live Adventure.
That explains so much.
No one's actually physically seen Marcia, by the way, for about 30 years. So.
Oh no! Are we gonna have like a Scientology kind of thing? Like, where's Marcia? Is she in a Lucasfilm work camp somewhere?
Has anybody seen her?
Sure, she wrote a forward. Sure.
Yeah.
She asked for him to call her. So
I heard Max
what you
wrote
wish
it.
for.
I heard they just paid Max to write it, and Max is like, "I'll be Marcia." Hello,
Max
everybody.
takes that Brady Bunch shit serious.
I do. It's real.
What was the one where Jan dressed up the girl, and then the girl ended up being more popular than Jan? Remember that one?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole
that would
thing.
happen to Jan. That would happen to her.
Good.
But
look,
no, Marcia did it. Sorry,
it's the new Jan Brady.
Do love that movie.
I do.
Love
Me too.
Okay, so here let's hit on something Kenobi just to be sort of a part of the discussion today on Star Wars. Okay, so two things. Mark Hamill probably knows. Mark Hamill, who was the first person to seemingly legitimately report that Cody was in Obi-Wan? Because I believe that they're, even without this graphic, I believe that they are correct. And for a long time, I've heard that he was going to be that Cody was supposed to be involved in the Kenobi series, movie series, whatever it was going to be, back and forth, all that jazz. And so this picture came out a while ago. And what's her name? Is it Indira Varma? I think is her name right here. We see her. Oops. There we go.
That's not.
We see her.
Katie O'Brien.
Yeah, but look back here. It's Tamara Morrison. in a Stormtrooper body glove, probably.
Squid
And the
Game 2
boots.
confirmed.
Yeah.
What?
But wouldn't you say that is probably Morrison?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see his
Maybe.
eyes. It looks like him.
It looks like his eyes.
It looks like his
I think
lips,
it's Lee Van
which,
Cleef back from the dead. I
Yeah,
know those
that-
eyes anywhere. It's Lee Van Cleef.
he's got the Stormtrooper style. I'm curious if those are Stormtrooper boots or if those are Clone Trooper boots. I don't know if anybody knows the difference. I
They look
personally
closer
don't.
to the first order ones.
I think
What are
they're
these-
clone
what are-
troopers.
What are these kicks right here, and what were they thinking? That's what I want to know. No, I'm sorry.
Those are Fennec Shan
It was-
tributes.
That was the 70s, man. I mean, that was all the rage back then.
Because
Yeah,
aren't the stormtroopers like black? They have a black soul.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, those
I
are
think that they
like
do.
I mean, they never actually
In
built
their
a clone
hearts or like fashion wise, Max? Like in their hearts, yeah. You know.
no, I'm pretty sure that's a stormtrooper boot.
Jason, what would you do
Yeah.
if you took a picture like that and you saw it was me, like covered in like a, and you're like, hey, is there something you want to tell me?
I would text you, you piece of shit, you secret keeping skank. How dare you? How dare you? Not friends. Just kidding. Congratulations. Are you going to tell me stuff and get fired? No? Okay. Talk to you later.
Just
That's
like
how-
Star Wars Theory Show.
That's how it would go. No, when other Max was on talking about being the extra in his cousin, I was like, man, they were super grown up about it, but I would be like, are you fucking serious right now? My cousin Steven, I'm looking at you right now. I know you watch the show sometimes. If you end up in Star Wars and you don't tell me, you're out of the family. But yeah, I would freak out though. I would be happy for you though.
Cool.
Yeah, 'cause I don't expect anybody to tell me. I would be happy for you, Max. But
Sure you
yeah,
would.
those shoes, those shoes, they do look like Stormtrooper shoes to me.
I thought
they
I
are.
could have sworn that those stormtroopers are black at the bottom. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna Google it.
No,
Yeah,
think
I mean,
the
'cause
part
our-
of the bodysuit that goes over has a black piece that goes over the top of the boot, I believe.
Because the clone troopers physically never had costumes made. They were always CGI on screen. And that doesn't mean that we can't get a good look at a character model, I'm sure, and figure out if that's a clone trooper boot or not. But also at the same time, you may be able to justify it. He may be wearing actual Stormtrooper boots with clone trooper gear. And over the years, his boots wore out and he upgraded to some Stormtrooper ones.
All the-
Yeah.
All the images have a black soul, but those could be dirty and now are gray, right?
Sure. I mean, there could be a lot of reasons for variants and stuff too. If he wasn't really going to have his feet shown in the scene, if they're not that he's a stunt performer, but the stunt performers ones are usually like sometimes you'll see you don't really see them out very often, but the Stormtrooper stunt gear is completely like rubber. It's like, and it looks very strange. So I've seen so many variants on Stormtrooper stuff over the years. It's like, is that real? Oh yeah, it is. It actually is real. It's just not for what you think. And then in film too, you'll have like a quote hero prop is what they call it, like the hero version of the costume sometimes too. And so sometimes like the stunt performers and stuff will have a lower quality version. And there's all kinds of reasons that you get these variants. And on these TV shows, surprisingly, they make quite a bit of costumes, but not as many as from the films, from what I could gather. And so,
Those are the new My Slippers from the My Pillow guy.
oh shit, yeah. But it definitely, I mean, it definitely does look like it's like it's him, and like the
That's
fact that they're covering the face that hard.
Yeah, with the gator. Yeah.
They should just fucking put a helmet on him.
Yeah, well, I don't think
Like, who's that?
wear a helmet enough. I don't want him.
I don't know who that
It's
is.
Ninja Filoni. I'm letting you know I'm a ninja now.
Well, and then here's the other thing. Okay, let's do some more
Join
forensic.
Nightwind. Join Nightwind.
How tall? How I'm doing a
This
Google
is-
search. How tall is?
Does his suit have like Spanx type of stuff right there. So it's like a little extra padding there.
So check it
Yeah.
out, guys.
All right.
Just suck it in.
I know that Tamara Morrison is 5'7". This man is 5'7",
It's 5
and that is as tall as the Jango Fett. Jango Fett is 5'7". Tamara Morrison's 5'7". They look like they're about the same height. So, but what phone is that? What phone is that? I mean, come on, you're Boba Fett, buddy. Are you using what is that? An
It's a
iPhone
burner phone.
10? I mean, is that iPhone 4? What's going on here, buddy?
That's a Gillette razor, actually.
It's my McCollum Crackberry.
And
Got
that
from
is-
McCollum. That's how I buy my crack.
Yeah.
The Imperial.
Damn, shut up, don't say that.
That's the girl, right? That got in the last episode for Mando. She was in the bridge
Wait,
at the end.
who? What?
Who's the officer? Who's the girl playing the officer?
That's Indira Varma, who is
okay.
in Obi-Wan, who's a big actor from Game of Thrones. She's Pedro Pascal's partner in Game of Thrones.
Okay. Yeah.
And
with the short hair.
yeah, and she's going to end up she has a big
Sand
role.
snakes.
I was actually like, I have some conflicting messages from my sources right now about who is playing Bria Organa, and I started to wonder if she could be Bria, Bell Organa's wife, in the series. But this Imperial officer's uniform, that thing that we have here, is very confusing. But also, if she's a hero and she's with Cody, who is in Stormtrooper gear, we may have some sneaking around in Stormtrooper costume stuff trope that tends to happen in these Star Wars stories, doesn't it? So yeah,
Cool.
it's a hard read right now to get everything down about who is who, and I don't want to misspeak, so I'm trying to not overstate what I've heard and what those things are, and get some wires crossed more than I already have, maybe. If that makes sense. I mean, I think it'll start revealing itself pretty soon, and then we'll be able to expound upon that stuff then. But yeah, I mean, I think that is I am not confirming a fucking thing, just to be clear, but in my mind, with the things I've heard over the last year or so, and with this image, I believe that Cody is the clone trooper that we see, not Rex, not Fives' cousin Sam, or any of that shit, but actually Cody. And so if I was a betting man, I'm betting that's Cody. So yeah, and I think a Cody Kenobi reunion here is pretty fascinating. Oh, remember in Order
Also,
66 when he tried to kill
my favorite player in Final Fight.
Cody.
It's true.
Yeah. Also, your favorite actor or your favorite character from Step by Step, I believe you said one time too.
Step by step.
Yeah.
No, that's Suzanne Summers, man. That's what I'm there for. Day by day.
Remember when they went through that phase on that show of like having the two boys say stuff from Bill and Ted and Wayne's World, and it was so cringy and painful?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
So, thank you for
those
bringing
are
that up.
Stormtrooper
Why
boots.
did my mind not delete that, Jason? That's the question I want to know.
Because I keep reminding you about it.
Huh.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
those are Stormtrooper boots.
God. I just saw Mark's comment. John Campia would tell you to look at his dick to ID if it's Tim or not.
Oh, that's you don't know what that's in reference to, but that's
Mm-mm.
when John had those pictures that he thought were fake, he kept telling you, look at his dick. You could tell the lighting's wrong, and it was just they were real, but it was funny. Turning
Right.
the whole look at his dick joke, yeah.
But look at his dick. I mean, that's definitely Boba Fett's dick, you guys.
Oh yeah.
I mean, tell me it's not.
Well, that dick commands respect.
That's the regular
mean,
baby's arm right there, man.
I checked the chain code, and that's definitely a Mando dick, according to the chain code.
Yeah.
And Jesse knows a lot about NFTs, and he agrees. So
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Un-
for my
unaltered
estimation,
clone
it's
my
worth
ass.
5 billion credits.
yeah, unaltered clone.
Yeah.
I know. I'm
A few
going to be honest.
enhancements.
Yeah, if I was making a clone of myself and the word was it was unaltered, I'd give that thing like a 12-incher and be like, yeah, it's totally unaltered. That's me. I mean, look at him go.
The problem is
Hey.
we're the generation that grew up with weird science, and we're always trying to like find ways
Yeah.
to improve upon the formula. Right?
That's a lot of dick.
Show Dick some respect.
Commander
Yes,
Chody.
sir.
Jesus Christ.
If that beach was filled with dicks, I'd go eat every last one of them and met freedom.
I haven't.
Dick Jones. What? What?
David asked if there's been any updates on Liam more than just a voice. I haven't heard anything more about it. He's more than a voice. I don't know anything, but would not be surprised if Bespin Bulletin came in with that one.
No, he's busy doing Taken 15.
I think he's too busy fighting Rob.
Bespin.
Oh, Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Neeson. I thought.
Yeah.
No.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're aware of Liam's and I's rivalry for the last 20 years. It's the secret war people don't know about him and I. We've been at it.
So thank you for the 199, Mr. Blue PvP. What's with Kenobi leaks versus almost no Book of Boba Fett leaks? Well, so here's how it goes, friend. Is I was being, thrown under the bus by the Star Wars community and accused of all of this crap that I didn't do, or that was distorted in ways that it didn't happen. And I have a video of it on the channel. You could go through the whole thing. But that was going on as Book of Boba Fett was filming. And I was a little bit like, well, kind of, fuck the Star Wars community. They are shit. There's no, building any kind of, over the years, I thought I had proven myself about who I was and what I was about. And then, no, it doesn't matter. Whatever the last thing the Star Wars community heard is what they will go with. So I was just like, and then COVID comes up, and I'm like, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna take care of my family. I'm gonna keep us safe, and I'm just gonna drop all that toxic nonsense. So then, but I still was interested. I still looked at it here and there, but what ends up happening is we get close to Book of Boba. And then I decided, you know what? Nobody's going to kick me out of my house. That was the way I looked at it. You know what I mean? This is something that I built and nobody's going to push me out of it. Fuck them. That was my take. And it's been more of my take as every day goes on here. And so I started working on Kenobi because Kenobi was what was actually actively filming. And it's what I focused on and what I cared about more. Now, in very small ways, I had hints that Book of Boba Fett was not going to be as good of a show as I hoped it would be, but I also was keeping my hopes up that it was going to be great, that it would be something more than what it ultimately was. And I'm not saying it's complete trash or anything like that. I'm just saying it was like, oh, then this happens and then this happens. It's not a very interesting thing to have conversations about. And for leaks to happen, people need to be excited about the leaks or mortified. It's
Look,
either I'm excited or I'm mortified.
I'm telling you though, Jason, like Space Lizards, the best fucking thing added to Star Wars since the Force. Like it just gives us so many options now.
Yeah. No,
I love Space Lizard.
Yeah, no. If I had Space Lizards, I would have been happy with that leak too.
I'm not being. I'm not joking.
No, it's fun. No, it's fun. Tusken Space Lizards are a good time. I would do them. I'd do it, you guys. I mean, honestly, if it was real, I'd be like, hey, let's all get together. It's got the Joshua Tree, which is ironically what the code name for Kenobi, and let's do some Space Lizards. No, but anyways, but I also so you have that. That's on the one hand, okay. That's the one hand about why I touched upon Book of Boba, and then, but when I stepped away, stepped back, and all these people are saying all these outlandish things. And I got two things going on with the outlandish claims about Kenobi. Either I stepped away so fucking far, I am completely out of step now, and I don't know what time it is. I don't know what's going on, and I should just shut the fuck up and see what happens. And that's where I ended up going, because when I talked to a couple of friends here and there about Kenobi, they were saying like, I don't know anything about Darth Vader. I don't know anything about Dengar or Bosk or Kira and all that. And I'm just like, shit, I can't get a fucking thing on this. Like, that's what I thought. I thought everybody might be right and I'm completely wrong. And so I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna work on Obi-Wan Kenobi because I'm a prequel guy. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars movie. And I'm Obi-Wan Kenobi is what I care about. I'm gonna go and work on this one, and I'm gonna drive up next to you, McGregor, and I'm gonna pee a little bit in my pants, and then I'm gonna take those pants and I'm gonna put them in a baggie and I'm gonna frame them and be happy about it.
Nice ride, Ewan.
It's real to me.
Told you, it's one of the greatest scoops ever if Yoda turns out to be in this series, man. How that worked out. It really is. It's so Larry David, dude. It's the most Larry David fucking thing I've ever heard of.
And I'm in the Prius. I'm in the Prius too, by the way.
Yeah. You're in the Prius. Like, it's crazy.
That will be legend.
But yeah, so anyway, so I started working on Kenobi. And then I started putting out some stuff here and there about Kenobi, but it was always like a bit weird because when I drop stuff on Kenobi, Book of Boba's coming. That's what's next, is what everybody wants to talk about. And in the past, whenever like I released all of the Mandalorian stuff I got, nobody gave a shit. Everyone was like episode 9. I would do like an episode 9 story, and let's say you get 100,000 views. I put a Mandalorian scoop, you get like 10,000. It's like 10,000 versus 100, like tenfold on it. And that's changed a baby bit, but not by much. The movies and stuff like that. What's next is and on in the consciousness is what people read. And so I'm like, well, I'm just gonna sit on my Kenobi stuff, get it as solid as I can get it, and then start releasing it once we got past Book of Boba, which is why we're getting those leaks now versus then. And also I don't pretend to know everything or to get everything right or whatever. And so I was like, well, I better just shut up and see how it goes. And then it didn't go so well. And I could be wrong because anybody could be wrong. But I think that when the Kenobi starts coming out, I think I'm going to be pretty right. Or
they were who you said they were, Jason. They were who you said they were.
No, and for the record, I'm not throwing any shade at anybody who got anything wrong. Sometimes you just get one wrong. Sometimes you mess up. Sometimes you hear something and it seems right and it's just wrong. There's like nothing you can do about it. So I'm not.
Let's be honest. Nobody got Disney Plus Day right. Nobody.
Yeah. Well, the Disney Plus.
Not even Disney Plus.
Yeah, Disney Plus. But I mean, but the funny part about it is we did. I mean, I knew that was going to go that way, but I was still in that mode that I stepped away. I don't know what I'm, and remember Rob going like, really though? I mean, I'm like, we got to, Rob. And Rob's like, okay, I'll be there. And I'm like,
watch the video. You'll just see me banging my head, literally like this gotta end.
Yeah.
For the love of, and I think Jason thought I was like being theatrical. I'm being. I don't do that for. Like I'm being. We gotta get the fuck out.
You did it for attention.
This is worse than the DMV on a day you're not even supposed to go. Like you just went to keep your friend company, and you're like, "Why did I do this? I don't have to be here for this."
Yeah,
you know, it's horrible.
Yeah, that was definitely me and Rob's DMV day because we're like, you never know, like maybe the info's right, maybe I don't hear everything, and like. One thing too that like I think people generally don't understand or that they misunderstand is like they assume that there's like one magic source and the one magic source just gives you everything. If that was the case, it would be so easy. It'd be so easy because when that one magic source said this, then I would know, oh, if they say the trailer's coming on March 10th, then it must be true. For sure. Because everything else is right. Why would that be wrong?
Chris.
In reality, yeah, Chris. In reality, there's all kinds of different avenues for information. Like there's people who worked on Obi-Wan Kenobi that I talked to recently who have no idea if the trailer is coming tomorrow or next month or ever. Like they don't tell them, oh, you worked on it, you're on the group text. It's just not how it works. There is no group text for the people who worked on it. And it just tells them everything.
Well, we have a group text, but it's not.
Do you think that Disney was laughing like assholes?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who goes to the DMV when they don't?
100%.
what I've
You're
always heard,
accompanying somebody. You're going there if we don't have to.
what I've always heard is that Disney. Oh, okay, I'm gonna roll back. Lucasfilm. I've always heard, and I know that Lucasfilm gets mad because they've called me before mad, but they I mean, be cool and
indicator.
people won't have to scoop, you know. But they basically they get more annoyed with fake stuff. Like for instance, that Kira showing up and then not showing up probably made them angrier than my Naboo Starfighter scoop. Because my Naboo Starfighter scoop in Book of Boba Fett came through. The promise was delivered upon. Nobody can be upset or mad about that. Kira, on the other hand, was like a promise and it didn't happen.
I do want to know why they put the Sith Interceptor in that shot, though. I mean, I guess it's a fun little Easter egg, but that's a lot of effort for something that they know people are going to pour over. You know what I mean? Like, that is interesting.
And then Blue PB says, "Yeah, no, I just meant like how so much we're wrong about Book of Boba Fett, and you besides Book of Boba Fett know about Kenobi. Anything about seeing Order 66 flashback again? The Order 66 flashback in Kenobi is a thing. Yeah, it definitely happens. The question that you I think are going to be left with I don't want to say too much, but the question about the Order 66 flashback is who's in it.
Yeah, we're
I think
always going to get one, right? As long as people who were alive during Order 66 when it happened.
As in like Grogu or or others.
As in, yeah, we're going to see Order 66 and we're going to see survivors. Who are the survivors is I think the question that we're going to have. Yeah. And I'm not promising that Grogu is in the sequence, but boy, did what they filmed sound exactly like what we got for Book of Boba.
So does that mean there's someone? Is there someone in a back to tank then? Can you confirm that?
No back to tanks. Well, Darth Vader actually. Darth Vader's in the back to tank.
Because you can't have a flashback without a back to tank. We've established that.
Can you imagine everyone sees Darth Vader in the back to tank again? What are we gonna see? Are we gonna see a flashback now?
Yeah, and it's Anakin. He's like on the desert. He's like doing lizard.
And then everyone's like, "Oh, come on, we already saw this."
I mean, Shmi does go out to pick mushrooms when she's abducted by the Tusken Raiders.
Until Kenobi's dead, we're gonna see flashbacks at different points.
But this isn't me. This isn't me speculating. This is like they filmed Order 66 content. And then the other side of the content is Anakin throwing fits, like Anakin being like, "I'm a little space bitch," and
I'm a little space bitch, short and stout. Here is my lightsaber. Here's my burn off dick.
Yeah, well, because what you have in this story are youthful Jedi. I use that in quotations, like as in like Luke and Leia, and prospective heroes who are all relying on Kenobi, and Kenobi fucked up the biggest job in the world, which was getting the chosen one trained to be a Jedi and to save the universe. He fucked that up, and now he's like,
I was gonna say the Montreal screw job. Fucking Obi-Wan fucked that up too. He fucked that up too. Obi-Wan. Double cross.
Yeah, but no, but I mean, it's like, man, I'm in no way trying to paint a picture that Obi-Wan goes around like, "Oh, I'm full of self-doubt" and stuff like that. I think that would be the wrong way to look at it. But Obi-Wan definitely has failed like hard, and things have gone south. So that things can go south. And that's where, like, we have that story about the new Jedi who turns up on Tatooine that kind of mixes everything up and makes things kind of make sense to some extent. And without going too far into that side of the story at this time, it definitely shows that nothing is guaranteed. Kenobi believes those kids could die. Like without having Anakin turn to the dark side and losing Anakin, like we need to believe that the characters believe they can fail. Even because we know Luke and Leia make it. We know that everything ends up fine. So we have to believe in the characters actually having this fear. We need to experience their fear in order to I think sort of have a successful narrative here. And these new the new Jedi Drifter that I wrote about, that ends up being a new side of it where you're like, okay, what's his fate gonna be? And how does that wash out? Because all of that connects to where Kenobi's mind is. And I think it sounds smart, but I see James has something in his old cooker there.
Yeah,
what's in the cooker, James?
Well, it seems like they're afraid to kill anybody off. So it's like there's no stakes because no one ever freaking dies. And you know, even like go back to the Clone Wars, the Andron arc, where they had Stila Guerrera, Saw Gerrera's sister. And they even said in like the commentaries, "Oh, we made such a great character when we wish we hadn't killed her off." Yeah. So when they do, they regret it. So
in Kenobi, there is death.
Good.
Yeah,
because there's got to be some stakes.
But democracy. Democracy dies, James. I don't think
thunderous applause. Yeah, fuck you, democracy.
Yeah. Yeah. And Taika Waititi, he does the thunderous applause, like all by himself.
No, but to make it, people do die. There is death, but the problem with the very nature of this beast, Kenobi can't die, Leia can't die, Luke can't die, Owen can't die, Beru can't die, and so
Grand Inquisitor, like nobody in the show can die.
Grand Inquisitor can't die, yeah. But so we end up with our new characters like Nari and Reva and a couple of the other ones that we can't get into.
Zuckuss Jr. Zuckuss Senior.
Yeah, do you know what they call him, Zuckuss? Just think about it. Just think about it for a few minutes.
Zuckuss, fuckus.
Yeah.
It's take your nephew to work day.
Oh,
I still want him voiced by Jeff Goldblum. that would be a missed opportunity.
I like that. That's the best thing you've ever said on the show, James.
That's not saying much, but thank you.
Something we would want. Yes,
you're welcome.
I am a little surprised that we haven't got Goldblum in a Star Wars in any way. It is a little
universe, like the Flyman.
Yeah.
The Flyman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the continuing scene.
Yeah. I also I also really
like
Zuckuss. I like Jeff Goldblum, but that show he has on Disney Plus, it makes me want to like scratch my eyes out and poke my
that's how I pitched
out.
It. Yeah. Scratch your eyes out. Yeah. Just turn out.
It's cutting edge.
I went in there. It's like, Kathy, tear your eyes out.
That was the intention, I think.
Yeah, Zuckuss is Jeff Goldblum, and then Forlom should be Nick Cage.
Oh shit!
No, Dengar should be Nick Cage.
He's already Simon Pegg. He's Simon Pegg.
Yeah.
Which is good enough.
No, he already has a role.
All right. Imagine if they just did that deep fake style stuff of Nick Cage's face mocap onto Bosk, and he just spoke like Nick Cage. It would be good.
That laugh is the greatest. That's that dog from the Wacky Races.
Wacky Races, yeah.
Or Muttley.
It's a deep within laugh.
Yeah.
It's deep.
Kenneth says that Qui-Gon better be in the fucking story. If not, there will be a huge disconnect from Kenobi, as we currently know. I had the fuck.
Alrighty then.
And Kenobi, the guy who disappears into thin air. Kenneth, you will not be disappointed. You are going to get, for sure, you are going to get Qui-Gon. But I cannot talk about
I'd be fine
any more than that.
I'd be fine if he wasn't physically in there, if he was just like
the VO,
little balls of light.
The wisp.
Yeah.
Well,
he does. Yeah. Well, Qui-Gon, he likes the life force. You know what I mean? He keeps it real.
Well, he died too soon.
Well, they established in the canon that he can't take physical form.
what they
kind of did, I will say, because they had it out with Mortis, where he could do it on Mortis, but that was because he was on Mortis. But not on Dagobah, he couldn't.
On Dagobah, he was balls of light, wasn't he?
He's a little ball of light. It was a little wisp on and a ball of light on Dagobah.
Yeah.
But I think that you could easily get around that by having Obi-Wan being the one to physically help him manifest. I think that if Obi-Wan is doing that for himself, maybe he can help him. Maybe that they'll take it that way. Everybody wants to see him.
Isn't he retired though? Didn't he retire from acting, Liam Neeson?
I don't know.
No, he's cashing money to pay his taxes, is what I understand. That's why he's doing.
Or am I just mixing him and Sean Connery up? I don't know.
Connery's dead.
Connery's dead.
Yeah.
Connery's dead.
Well, he retired before he died. Okay,
yeah, the grand retirement. Yes.
Yeah. Hey,
the old Judy Garland, as they say in the city.
Deep fake. Anything can happen.
No, Mr.
Anything can happen. I'm still. Hawk says, "I'm still sitting in my dirty pee-pee pants right now."
Fetish.
Darth Del
Rio. That's how we do it at the story group. That's how we do it at the story.
Well, if you're a dirty girl, you're gonna wash your
nobody gets
underwear
in
the sink.
Yeah, nobody gets up. Nobody gets to go to the pee-pee room until we crack the story.
Exactly.
That's John's rule.
Well, that was the problem with Book of Boba Fett is everybody needed to go to the pee-pee room, so they were like, okay, story's cracked, let's go.
Robert just brought a lot of cerveza, and we just couldn't hold it anymore. So we had to go.
Seeing Cody may confuse the hell out of the general Disney Plus audience who don't understand Boba is a clone. Yeah, that's going to require that Tamura Morrison actually does something different. That he has some sort of performative nature that really says he's something different.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not Boba Fett, I'm Cody.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's gonna have. I'm gonna assume we don't. Did we ever?
This is my Peter Sellers moment, and he just starts doing weird Zeke Hiles and shit. And you're like, no. I mean, he is a space Nazi now, but I mean, it's too much tomorrow.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Well, and then what are they going to do with him though? Is he going to be regretful? Are we going to learn in Bad Batch season 2 that they found him and cut the chip out of his brain?
So if I can ask, what would Cody be doing at this point in time in the timeline?
Yeah. I mean, that is a good.
I'm seriously question. Asking, what would he be doing?
He's the cook.
He'd be training new recruits. The way they've established the old clones that stayed in the Empire is that they would basically stay on as basically like military advisors, essentially so training the next generation.
Yeah, so he could possibly show a different outfit then, so that would necessitate those boots.
Or they could bring him in saying, "Hey, you're a Kenobi expert, and we're trying to find Kenobi."
He's gone Full Metal Django. You know what I'm talking about? Like he yells at him and shit. Yeah. It's right in their faces.
I think James might be onto something with that. But there's two things about the stormtrooper to clone trooper to stormtrooper narrative. Is I think the one that we hear in A New Dawn is I think the real sort of cutesy, here's what happened to them so they could sweep it under the rug. But when we see Bad Batch, we see the Tarkin Initiative or whatever it's called, Tarkin and those cats, they really don't want anything to do with the clones. They stormtroopers really hard, really fast. They have to see that people are kind of getting pushed out. So I think the Empire, once they don't need you, you're disposable. They probably do keep a few and go bad for most of them. I think remember we saw the kids getting shipped off that did in a Bad Batch. It didn't look like they were going to stormtrooper school in that instance. So Cody could go two ways. Cody could be like a Crosshair type in Bad Batch who is hunting them, who is still, he's a company man still, and he's, part of the Empire and totally in on it. Or he might see what happened to some of his quote brothers over those few years and may have retired and jumped ship and went his own way. But we don't see Cody hanging out with Rex and those guys later on. So we know that either stuff doesn't go well for him or he doesn't necessarily make up with his old clone buds. So we'll see very soon. But yeah, well, I'll probably do something this week. I plan to do something this week, I think. So, but I don't want to promise anything until I've written it and done it. Who the hell goes to the DMV but they don't have to? If I didn't want a life, I would just stay at home.
That's what Disney Plus day was like. I didn't have a life and I was at home. It was fucked up. You know, it's really it's the biggest waste of my life.
Yeah, I want to have a revenge guy on the next time he's free. He wrote me and said he was free today, and I got it way too late, and I had already had a full house here. So, revenge guy, when you're free next, definitely come and hang out with us, please. It would be nice to have you on the show. Mark Hamilton says, "What? You're not on a Fab's WhatsApp chat? I'll tell him to send an invite." Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Also, ask him to tell him to give us those Christmas presents he gave us that first year of Mandalorian, where he was showing us IG-11 and stuff. Those were the days.
Yeah.
You know,
glory days.
Yeah, the glory days.
The glory hole days.
Pass me by.
Gee. Oh.
Hi, Robert. Robert says, any thoughts on how they're rolling out Thrawn, etc.? Possibility of a rethought heir to the Empire using Mandoverse to tell the story? So my take, I don't really subscribe to the idea of the retelling as them taking concepts and fun parts of it and throwing it in. Like we were talking on Star Wars Santa Show today, Wayland. They put Wayland in Bad Batch, and that's the mountain with the Emperor's storehouse of stuff, and it leads to that guy whose name looks like Saboth, but it's Kaboth or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what his name is. He's a fucking idiot. I don't care. Yeah, Sabaoth. And Sabaoth. Black Sabaoth is our new band.
Oh, that'd be an
Mark
awesome
Hamilton.
You know, now that you say that, I do think it's a play on Black Sabbath, Sabaoth Sabbath.
Black
because of Tantus, and everything. I do think it's a play on Sabbath.
And then we get canceled because the guy's face is Mace Windu, because that's all.
It's just spelt fucking weird. It's spelt like Hoth, so you think Cybot, like it's just, you know what I mean? Like you can't spell it like a word you already see in Star Wars, you know, and then say it differently. It's the problem.
Isn't it Cabaot?
Yeah, it's like
anyway,
it's the apostrophe B. Yeah, so
it's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit is what it is, and I'm tired of it. No, I'm kidding. No, it's like, you know, we got Han Solo.
Thank you.
Han Solo.
I've been saying this.
Sign up for whatever his name is that I already forgot. But
no, I was gonna call it Salo, but
they're not dipping down into that deep into that legend shit. I'm amazed, honestly, that they even put Thrawn in Rebels and they're still talking about it. I don't think they're gonna have.
Yeah.
There's too much to actually consolidate and then introduce. Like, you want to just keep rolling with the universe that we got with introducing new characters, but not having to delve deep into the back history of everything.
I think they'll do like what Marvel does, because I mean Marvel takes a comic series or a story arc and it adapts it into a movie, and it's not a one-to-one adaptation. You get certain characters that are taken out, new characters put in, but yeah, they're going to do something that's basically going to be the equivalent of Heir to the Empire. How close it gets to that remains to be seen, but they're definitely moving that direction. Yeah.
I mean, it's like at the end of the day, like when we look at Mount Tentis or whatever the fuck it's called, or Wayland, it ends up it's like what, 15 years before? No, it's more than that. It's like 30 something years before the Return of the Jedi era. So when they're introducing it, we're just getting the acknowledgement that it even exists. And there's just no telling if it even makes it through the Galactic Civil War at this point. I'm just throwing that out there, like that these things being dropped in. Like, do you get to say they remade Heir to the Empire if we end up with Mara Jade, some of the planets back, some of the characters back, but they're in all of these disparate stories over generations of storytelling and in different era, like. I just feel like it's a stretch. I just don't feel like there's.
Could they merge it with like the part where you play Luke in Battlefront, where he finds the Emperor's.
I mean,
I've always envisioned that storyline as DLC, Jesse. So you need to understand.
There you
go. George Lucas, you're such a dick. But
stop.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really don't see anything that happens that feels like any of that is even possible to entertain until they bring back Mara Jade. If they bring back Mara Jade, that's where you start to feel like the heart of Heir to the Empire may in some way be revitalized and retold in a different way.
I think that's the one character they would bring back.
You remember the rumors about a year ago or so about Scarlett Johansson maybe being in Star Wars?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Now that she's out of Marvel, like to an extent, right? To an extent. Yeah. No one's ever really out. And I'm like, well, there's your Mara Jade, buddy.
Yeah, because
she's about the right age that now for a Luke at that age. Yeah, I'm just saying.
She's Johansson's daughter.
She's had enough hand-to-hand weapon training too that it wouldn't take long for her to grab onto the lightsaber.
Isn't she Rian Johansson's daughter too?
Yeah, she's Rian Johansson's stepdaughter.
So it makes sense.
I knew it.
No, I mean, I
never existed.
So James, you don't think that they would ever bring her back? You think that's not possible or not likely?
I don't think so. Just because the whole problem that Lucas had with Mara Jade was the whole relationship with Luke and Mara. It wasn't necessarily that he hated the character. I mean, he hated like the photo shoot that they did.
Yeah.
But he didn't approve of the whole idea of like Luke having this relationship with this character. So if they bring her in, it's going to be a completely different capacity, and then it doesn't have to be Mara Jade.
It could be Lara Jade.
Yeah. Right. So you run a fine line of getting all these dorks out there that'll be like, oh, it's not true to the books, and then they'll be in an uproar. So I mean, there's no upside to bringing Mara Jade in unless you're going to play it 1-to-1, and they're not going to do that. So bring in a completely different character. Don't bring her in at all. Bring her in somewhere else in the timeline in a totally different story. But do not try to bring her into Heir to the Empire. Change her character arc because you're going to hear it from the fans.
My take is that they take her, they do the Batman Catwoman relationship where there's the flirtation. He wants it, she wants it, but he can't. He's going to be he's not his dad. He's better.
The way moonlighting should have ended.
Yeah,
the way moonlighting should have ended.
They fucking ruined it.
Because I mean we do know that Luke is fallible. That Luke he's making a lot of the same mistakes of the past. And
he puts Grogu on his ship with R2, bro. Like
sends him home in an Uber, as somebody said.
Like imagine sending your kid to Disneyland with an Uber and a Roomba, to keep an eye on him. Like
yeah.
Like yeah, all right.
I mean, he is 50,
He obviously didn't care.
Yeah, I think but I think that if they bring that character back, I think it becomes a huge splash. I think it gets a bunch of attention. I think if you just did a generic woman with red hair who used to be a Jedi or whatever they happen to do, whatever they reconfigure, I feel like there's I don't think that's going to get in the EW, but I think if they bring back Mara Jade, I think they get EW coverage on it and stuff like that. And at the end of the day, you will have the people that are just really mad that it's not the Mara Jade that they grew up with.
And we know Palpatine lived, so he could be like sending little voices in her head and shit.
Yeah, he could still be doing it, yeah.
Replace Sabios with Snoke. I mean, it's very easy to just plug Snoke into that role because he
just replace Snoke. Hashtag replace Snoke. Yeah.
Yeah.
In general.
Would there be a good chance if they did bring her in, would she be a person of color?
Maybe.
They cast?
Sure. Why not? Does it really matter? I mean, yeah.
It's a wrap.
Indiana Jones is done filming.
Like that hat.
And then somebody on Twitter was sending me like pictures of the hat and going like, hey, this looks like it's for sale here. But I'm kind of wondering if that is the indie wrap hat, so to speak, and if it's just very similar because it's just the indie font in yellow on a bluish hat. So
it'll be on Etsy either way. Either way.
Yeah,
it already is.
I was looking at some Back to the Future Part 2 filming stuff the other day because I also like Back to the Future Part 2. And there's this picture of Frank Marshall, and he's like on like the like camera dolly thing that they move to film the hoverboard sequence. And on it, he has a shirt. It just says Indy 3 with a 3 on it. It was like the Last Crusade shirt or whatever. I was like, that's pretty cool. Right. I meant to save it, but I forgot. But yeah, Indy is done filming. What a weird schedule that they had on that one, from just doing little bits here and there and keeping it going. But yeah, and Indy's done it. Isn't it weird that Indiana Jones might be like finished and just like sitting on like a server at Disney for like months and months without us being able to watch it? Mm-hmm. Like, that's painful. I want to see it now.
Man's Gold should be on the internet just trolling everyone about it. Guess what I watched today and you didn't?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not going to be a movie that if they do anything that they regret in it, they are going to have time to think about it. That's for sure. You know, and change it if they want to. So.
They should put a C in front of that.
Cindy? Just, I'm Cindy.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
Time for DMCA's ending on a time. Right.
So Mark Hamilton says, no Kira damaged the series because people were expecting it, not got Mephisto'd. Yeah, I mean, it's so weird. Like there's a way of going out there and not being condescending. Like what they'll do is if they just won't say anything, they won't set any expectations. At best, they'll have Pablo Hidalgo go out and go, "You fucking idiots!" Like we would ever do Kira. Like that's the kind of shit they've done in the past when they do try to set it straight. It's just like all you have to do is go. Is it one of the blurbs or one of the interviews? Go, yeah, we would love to explore Kira in the future, but right now she's going to be explored in comic books for the next year or so. Just say something like there's just ways of doing it that isn't like talking down to the fan base and managing it.
Especially if they're going to get mad about shit that ain't going to be in the show. That's what kills me. If they're internally bothered by it, you know what I mean? It's like, then get in front. You have a whole social media apparatus. You can just come and go, guys, we have a lot of great stuff in store, but that ain't one of it. We just want to put it out there so you're not spending your whole time wondering for stuff that ain't there, you know?
Well,
but who knows?
The game is that what they can't do is this. Like, it's episode 7, right? And then I come out and I'm all, oh, they're doing a Luke trailer. The Luke trailer's coming tomorrow. Then they come and they can't say there's no Luke trailer because then somebody goes, oh, there's no Luke trailer because of this. Then they start chasing their tail and then they start giving information away. So they can't do that. But what they can do is literally just give an update on the fucking character, like what you're saying, but not in response to a rumor, because they can't do that. That I get. Like, that's a solid policy. Not responding to rumors, because then you confirm them or you debunk them. So you don't want to do that. But you just have to go and just manage the expectations for the character.
Maybe it's for season 2.
It's not. It's just, it was bullshit. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I get it so much, Max. I get it so much that I'm like, no, it's not. but it is true, because, you know, we were hoping that, like, Book of Boba Fett, even if it didn't necessarily meet our expectations along the way, that it was going to imply something for the future. And that's where they were dangerous about the show, is the show has no future. It didn't leave with, oh, and then now here's Kira, and you fucked up. You stepped in shit because Kira's going to cut your throat using her Sith karate. Like there was just there was no one-upping the stake. There was just that Wookiee is not going to share the fruit. They're a family.
Ray Park's new cologne, Sith karate.
Karate.
It smells like baby banthas, but it smells like baby banthas. Is the problem? It's made with real bits of baby bantha.
Every one of you.
Jackie Chan's Sith Lord. It's coming. Watch. Bye, Spider-Man.
Bye.
Launch all the likes. Almost 40 viewers, but 7 likes. Yeah, come on, you sons of bitches. Like the video.
You got thumbs, don't you?
Yeah. Also, I've been thinking about this back and forth. I don't know. Whoa, we lost somebody.
Where's
who did we lose?
Rob?
Lost Rob.
We lost Rob. Rob got tired of us.
We didn't get enough likes. Rob's out.
Rob does it for the likes, you guys.
Yeah,
and
he doesn't get 14 likes. He's gone.
Yeah, it's like 7 likes out.
What the hell?
So I'm considering making a new UFO YouTube channel. Doing the live streams here because we got it all set up for live streams, and then taking the live streams and then uploading them over to the UFO channel.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, I don't know if it's a joke. Sometimes I laugh at my own jokes too much, but right now, I want to call it a tinfoil top hat, and that makes me laugh. Yeah, and
Ray Park did not like that joke.
Ray Park didn't like it.
I actually have a top hat.
I actually have a question.
Okay.
Do drones have lights on them?
What?
Drones,
yeah.
Like most of them,
they can.
They do.
Yeah. People do fake UFO stuff with drones.
Okay, so last night, I was driving to pick somebody up. There was a game going on, and I looked and I saw that there was something flying that literally stopped, and then it shot, and then it was like going on. But then I noticed
drones don't shoot though.
Well,
a drone will.
Well, I mean, it moved fast.
Okay.
But it stayed steady, and then I saw like green and I think red, and it stayed like in the vicinity. So I'm pretty sure it was a drone, like looking over the game.
Did you film it? Did you film it or take any pictures?
No, I was navigating, but I was driving like this.
Yeah, that's pretty common out here, and especially in Texas too. In Houston, there's a lot of Pop Warner football. There's a lot of youth football.
I didn't like that. That was like a tease.
Yeah.
So
could have been.
They do it of making game film probably, so they can.
I'm sure it was game related. Jason, I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Max is
Belichick, man.
Now that Max knows that there was no UFO, maybe she's gone. So, but anyways, anything for hey David. David's asking anything on if Samuel L. Jackson will have anything to do with Star Wars in the future of TV film. I haven't got anything definitive on that. I want that to be true. I'm somebody who's like, yeah, is it nobody dies, blah 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 blah. But I'm also of the opinion that Star Wars isn't like a very serious thing. It has more to do with melodrama than anything. And there's nothing more melodramatic than you thought I was dead, but I'm not. And I'm okay with that when it's done fun. When it's fun and it's exciting and the story opportunities explode in like a real like interesting way. But when they bring somebody back like for general audiences, like how they did Darth Maul and Solo, I loved it in the Clone Wars and stuff. And as a Star Wars fan, I'm mostly okay with how they did it. But if you were just a normal person and then he shows up in Solo and there's just like what happened here? So I'm definitely critical of how they've done it. But and I think Mace Windu has more merits for living than anybody else who's come back. I mean, Luke Skywalker.
My opinion, it's the only reason to do a Boba Fett series, man.
Yeah,
it was the only reason to do one. That's it. There's no other interesting story than the revenge on the guy who killed my father story. Like, that's it. I'm not. And it could have been the opposite of what Luke did to save his father. It could have gone just horribly wrong. And it ended up pitting Jango against Mando in a way. You know what I mean? Toward the future. Yeah. Like, there's just a whole slew of better ideas on the table than this milquetoast shit they've been pumping out, man. Like, it's a shame. I mean, even if you couldn't get Sam Jackson, you don't have to. There's other ways. He could have been deformed. You know what I mean? He could have been corrupted by the Sith or the dark side. There's all sorts of. I know he would, but I'm just saying. You know.
Yeah, well, that's a story. If they ever do a more Book of Boba Fett or something like that, Boba Fett throwing it all the way on revenge against Mace. That whole empire going apart because he goes against Mace and Mace dismantles the whole thing and fights it through. That would be a fucking cool story. That would be fun. All those little bikers just getting fucking cut in half with Mace Windu's purple lightsaber. Hell yeah, let's do it. And then Din's like, "Whoa, I don't want any of this."
I think it'd be cool if they brought Mace Windu back towards like the Kenobi era, to have Mace go, "Oh, you're protecting the chosen one. That shit didn't go so good last time. let me kill this son of a bitch before he turns out like his dad.
You know, maybe he looks like the Thaw Gerrera version of a Jedi.
Yeah, maybe he's like on Apocalypse Now, and he's like, just holed up in a cave somewhere and lost his mind. And he's not part of this plan that Obi-Wan and Yoda have to protect these kids because they think they're going to save the future. And he's like, nah, I'm not down with this chosen one shit anymore.
Yeah, I don't like that card.
Yeah, Mark Hamilton says Grogu is the piece that links Kenobi to the Mandoverse. Yeah, that's what I am really wondering about right now, is that we have this story thread that is very Grogu friendly, is what I'll say, but I don't have the smoking gun. So I'm not saying it happens, just to be ultra clear. I'm not saying it goes that way, but there's definitely the opportunity there for Grogu to show up in the Kenobi series and to be the thing that does connect these things together. So, X-Wing. Wait, I'm not sure how to operate this interface. How do I just do it? Just do it, damn it! It doesn't want to do it.
Oh, Hawk's holocrons.
There you go.
Did you say, original Snoke could be much more powerful and actually sustain damage from Luke? The cloning facility on Exegol ends up being what they were able to salvage from the mountain base.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think the Sabath character could actually be Snoke.
Yeah.
So he took him with him, and then he controls him. He remakes him every time he needs to, and then he just keep trying to rebuild him. That's pretty good.
Easy.
Actually.
And thank you, X-Wing, for the $4.99. I appreciate it, man. And yeah, Mace lives. I want Mace back. I want Mace alive and to live. I mean, more than any character, probably. Right? I mean, and but here's where I'm looking at the potential for Kenobi, but I don't think this will happen or don't know if it's going to happen. But you end up having Order 66. Grogu's alive. He's there. He's around. And then we end up with these Jedi survivors who are some become Inquisitors, some become Jedi stragglers, if you will. And we have Grogu. Well, what if, this is a what if Reva and Grogu escaped Order 66 together and got captured, and she was put into the Inquisitors program and he was taken to the lab? What if that was their fate? Like I'm just throwing it out there that could very well be this story, but it's speculation, and I don't know that, so I don't want it to get contorted into something it's not, because people tend to remember things in weird ways. So that's why I keep saying that disclaimer over and over again.
James.
Hey,
Max,
I didn't say when the trailer was coming.
So Grogu's coming back, huh?
James throwing shade at Chris. Oh yeah, finally, finally the matchup we've all wanted to see.
There you go.
Sure. I'm just gonna shoot myself in the foot.
What happened?
Right here. Here we go.
Grogu confirmed.
There we go. I'll do it. I'll do it for you guys.
There you go.
But
no.
Liam Neeson always has bigger fish to fry, because there's always a bigger fish, as Mr. Hamilton knows.
I love fried fish.
Always a bigger fish.
So good.
Big mistake not getting a Long John Silver's promotion with that movie, right?
Oh yeah. Right.
There's always a bigger fish at the Qui-Gon 2-for-1 sale at Long John Silver's.
I ate that 2 weeks ago, actually.
It's always a big mistake when you eat at Long John.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I like the little crunchies.
I know.
It's a southern thing.
An ex of mine ate like a child, ate like off the kids menu constantly, and that was one of the only places that she would want to eat. And it would be like Long John Silver's. I'd have to drive like 30 minutes away from where I live to find a fucking Long John Silver's. That's time I'm never going to get back. That's time I'm never going to get back.
Yeah.
Like Disney Plus Day.
It's a long way to travel for diarrhea. I mean,
Very true.
That's how I felt about Yuma, actually. Whatever.
Revenge Guy says, "Shit, Rob, laugh out loud. There's actually Star Wars toys for sale behind you. Laugh out loud. To toy sections are so empty here." Man, yeah.
He stole them.
They don't actually make toys.
I just set up shop at a Target, started drawing.
Hey, Sheev. Sheev says, even Sheevens says, what if Bad Batch is coming out May 4th and we see Grogu in Order 66 flashback in Kenobi, then on Mount Tantus or something in Bad Batch? Yeah. I mean, it could completely go that way. I think they would be, in some certain, to some extent, they would be wise to put Grogu in. I mean, I guess too much Grogu is a bad thing.
Too much Grogu.
But the cartoons are for kids, and Grogu for the kids stuff on that side would be good. But if he's just supposed to be like in a lab, like kind of just like being like held and with no memory, I think like sleeping like a baby for 20 years. Yeah, I mean, well, but
it couldn't be where they're not going to be show scenes of him getting stuck and all that stuff, but needles and anything. He's just going to be captured.
But what if there's a time when he is on the run with another Jedi who has taken him, like a character like I'm proposing Reva from the Kenobi show. What if she's taken
Charles Grodin,
and then they're on the run for a long time, and then they finally get captured at the, you know what I mean? But you could do a story, or you could do stories with them and other Jedi where he is a little critter running around doing cartoon stuff for a short time. And I would not be upset if my kids got that show, because I think that they would like it. But then of course we know he gets captured and ends up in that lab from Gremlins with that teacher who's down to make more. You know, that's.
Do they really need to connect all these shows though? Can they just be their own thing without having some kind of thing that bleeds into the other? Can it just be its own separate entity? Like, I don't need Grogu and Bad Batch or Kenobi. I don't need it.
Yeah, I don't need it. I don't need it. But do the kids want it? Do the kids want it? Oh, the kids want it. That's where, you know, I mean, there's something, there's like taste. There's the tasteful way, and then there's the Disney way. I don't
Mama,
know.
Dada, poo poo, chihuahua.
You go to excellent Muppets reference.
Yeah, if you got that, yeah.
I did, sadly, yeah.
All the party stuff, you know, for kids parties and whatever, or birthday parties, and it's like everything that is Star Wars is all Grogu related. Like all the plates, all the banners and all that. And before, we couldn't even really find a lot of Star Wars, anything of that kind of sort. So it went straight from not having any of that into now we get party materials, but it's all Grogu.
And I love how people used to accuse George Lucas of just making movies to sell toys. Like, as soon as they sold to Disney, I was like, oh, just wait.
Disney said, hold my beer.
You haven't seen shit yet. They will fucking sell their souls to sell a fucking.
I got the Mandalorian goldfish.
Do you have them with you right now?
I've got a lot of cool
I finished them. I got started and I finished them like in a day.
It's on fucking everything, man.
I can't really hear you.
Jesse just keeps talking. Jesse just keeps. I'm like, he just keeps going in the background. Like,
yeah, you're kind of low.
Sorry.
And I don't think I have the ability to turn you up further on my end.
How about that? Is that a little better?
I think so.
No,
it's
about the same.
Same. God damn it.
Just get the mic real close to you.
Mark Hamilton says Robert Rodriguez's crown as King of Star Wars action dies. Yeah, I agree with that. Mm-hmm. Well, that did already when BDH cut the guy in half and chopped off his head.
That was brutal. Very brutal.
But I do think that you have.
Wouldn't that make a great pinata though, Jason? Like the head in the sack, right? The baraka, whatever is barata, the barata head. That'd be great.
The dog guy, barata.
Yeah, when he cut the dude's head off, I had him in a sack. That'd be awesome.
So gross.
Pinata. Oh, right. Yeah, I love pinatas, man. That's my favorite thing.
It'd have been gross if he like hit it against the ground.
Dying. But
yeah, and you know it comes with the little dark saber to cut it open and shit.
like in a perfect world for them, which they cannot have, Luke Skywalker would be the unifying thing that connects it all together. The one character who moves through it all easily. But it's too complicated now. And I think Grogu and Din, this little baby that the world loves, and a Mandalorian are the two characters who may end up showing us all of that stuff. They may be the thing that takes us through all of these eras for the foreseeable future. And Grogu is somebody who, if they want to, if they don't kill him, can be their Yoda without having to play with Yoda, but go right into the future of Star Wars, into the sequel trilogy era, and beyond, if they should choose to like do it. So I definitely see like there being a possibility there, but it also means that they need to eventually age him up, let him grow up to becoming like your young adult to just 28-year-old adult, but have the character be likable.
And you think they make him a little cute, a little bit?
Oh, Yoda's still kind of Yoda's a nightmare, but he's also kind of adorable.
Who's Yoda? Let's talk about Grogu.
Right? Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is like I think
Yoda's a hot mess.
Well, I mean, but look at Yoda.
No, he was cute.
Yoda's a 90-year-old dude.
He was cute in an old
refugee.
Way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I think if you saw 25-year-old equivalents of Yoda, it's probably adorable.
Yeah.
It's probably like a little gnome.
Yeah, we don't want to go
gnome elf guy.
We don't want to go, ooh, Grogu.
Grogu's abs are fucking hot. Yeah, you don't want that to happen. Well, but it might.
It's just Grogu pulling his shirt up to show all the hot babes what he's been doing during pandemic.
He's got his little phone. Just take it.
You're like, why, Grogu? Why? Oh, look at the dick root on Grogu. Like looks like Grogu's, a little Pickle Rick.
That guy that people are always talking about in dating profiles. Like, if you have sunglasses on, I won't date you. If you just have pictures of your abs, I won't date you. Thanks, Grogu. So something great to watch by Smoking a Bowl. Oh, I like Jeb's show actually. So, yeah.
Speaking of which, when Grogu grows up, I really want him to be voiced by Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen.
You're not expecting it, right? Yeah, the laugh, because Yoda has a laugh. Grogu can have a laugh, and
shit.
Ball.
Yeah, I got the impression, I don't like follow stars' lives really closely usually and stuff, but I get the impression that Liam Neeson was acting, and he has two at the time younger age children, and then his wife died I think skiing somehow in an accident or something, and then in the aftermath of that, it seems like he just started working to like probably not to be miserable, probably just to keep productive. That's a guess of mine, but I think that's where we ended up with Liam Neeson doing everything and not really taking like Oscar worthy roles that he could be doing. Instead, he just went. And I also have a feeling that when you're in that level of depression, you probably cannot perform at your best either. So he's probably unable to perform at his best and super depressed. And I think he just started taking movies over and over. That's my read on it anyway.
I mean, he's got a particular set of skills. So
he does. Yeah, he does have a particular set of skills. But yeah, but I also don't think that, any of what I just said should make anybody worried about how he'll be as Qui-Gon Jinn. I don't think Qui-Gon Jinn was ever a particularly challenging role for an actor of Liam Neeson's caliber when it comes down to
kind.
It. Yeah. It definitely was not Oscar Schindler. Let's be honest. It's a great role, great character, but not an Oscar-winning performance that you're going to get playing Qui-Gon Jinn ever. I don't think. So
those things live inside me, inside ourselves.
Oh man!
I only pick up 2 or 3 words, but it's funny. You know what I mean?
Like, you are very low today.
I don't know what's going on with this thing. I'm gonna have to either fuck with it somehow.
Yeah, I might need to
get a headset, man. Like I don't know. Just speak right into there.
Talking Tuscan, do the little sign language thing.
Yeah, Darth Del Rio says you could always say Mara Jade was a special inquisitor, and yeah, you could take it down that route,
Yeah.
And with there being that, and with there being the ISB, like that really being like developed, like basically the Star Wars Secret Service FBI of the Empire, CIA of the Empire kind of stuff. She could be, sort of above that even, and the Emperor's agent and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
Haven't we given Timothy enough? Haven't we given Timothy enough? Do we have to just keep You know, he's an egomaniac, that guy. He already thinks he fucking owns the sequels, you know.
I actually got an argument with Tim Zahn about that with Mara Jade.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Tim.
Can you talk about it?
Like I can, because my whole thing was like, well, who is she trained by? Well, she was trained by the Emperor and Darth Vader. I'm like, okay, so she's a Sith. No, she's not a Sith. I'm like, well, who trained her? 2 Sith. No, they didn't train her in the ways of the Sith. I'm like, well, okay, what did they train her in then? So my whole thing was, okay, if you're going to say that Mara Jade was the personal assistant to the Emperor, trained by the Emperor himself, she's a Sith. She got to be. And he was adamant that she was not. She was not part of the Sith. She was not part of that whole thing. The Emperor didn't see her as some kind of Sith acolyte or apprentice. She was her.
Well, was it because she was not that gifted in the Force? She barely used the Force?
No, I mean
No, because George didn't want that Sith shit to be touched. That's why he's just saying that, you know.
Well, back then,
if it were up to Timothy,
yeah.
If it were up to Timothy, I'm certain he would have been like, yeah, certainly. I mean, he wanted to put a clone of Obi-Wan in that story, you know, like there's just rules. And so he ain't going to say, well, George made up some stupid shit I have to abide by because then that's the fucking headline, right?
No, he would say that. I mean, he did say, I wanted the Sith to be the Nogri, but they wouldn't let me. I wanted Mara Jade to get married to Luke at the end of Last Command, but they wouldn't let me. So he had no problem with saying they wouldn't let me do X. But he was adamant that Mara Jade was never intended to be a Sith or a Sith acolyte, but she was trained by the Emperor. So my argument was always, well, if she was trained by a Sith, she's a Sith, because what else could a Sith train you in other than to be what they know?
Well, the mistake, it's not a mistake because he wouldn't have thought about it. But in the way that Rey ended up becoming, you know, like, you know, a descendant of Palpatine, that Mara could have just been the descendant of Palpatine, you know? That would have been the easier answer to get around all that shit.
But also like, sorry, go on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, so she could have been like this disciple who wasn't there because one day maybe she could take Vader's place because there could only be 2 of them, right? So Palpatine was sort of slowly placing her to be in a position to do that. If you know because if the Luke thing failed, then that would be his next step forward to pushing her to killing Vader to becoming his next apprentice, kind of thing.
I think just using a lightsaber and like using the dark side though doesn't necessarily inherently have to be a Sith attribute. It would be like picking up a gun and being in the military means you're a Marine. It doesn't.
So it'd be like Star Killer then, right?
No, but I think of it more like martial arts. So if you have a jujitsu master teaching you martial arts, you're not going to be a kung fu master. You're going to be a jujitsu master. They might talk to you about kung fu, but they are not going to be able to train you in the art of something that they are not intimately familiar with.
But they're not going
to has to train you with their base of knowledge.
Yeah, but they're not going to give you like they're. I think the difference here would be we're teaching you how to use the dark side of the Force, but we're not teaching you the secrets of our religion.
Right. They're not necessarily going all in and telling you everything.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, and she's not an Inquisitor because one of the things with Rebels, they wanted to make sure that they basically killed off all the Inquisitors by the end of the show because there's no Inquisitors in the OT era. Mm-hmm. Now they could always go back on that, but that was their mindset and their thinking was that, well, the Inquisitor program is done by the time you get to A New Hope. So these guys got to, meet their end in this show. So people aren't going, well, where are the Inquisitors at? So Mara Jade's too old to be an Inquisitor, would have been after that program. So yeah, she'd have to be a special case program. And if she's trained by the Emperor, then again, what is she trained in? And there's no one else to train her but 2 Sith dudes.
Terrascasi.
Controlling her.
Kara trained her.
Trained in 3
controlling her mind from across the galaxy. Just get her to take over her body.
Yeah,
I always just saw her as his contingency to replace Vader if that shit didn't work out. I mean, it seemed pretty obvious. That's why you keep that one close to your chest. And no, Vader, why would a little girl ever take you? Never gonna take you out, buddy. And then he's like,
Well, you'd have to establish Mara Jade as being strong enough to be a viable replacement for Vader, which would put her.
He died. Yeah, but there's potential. But there's potential. Only Palpatine was murdered. Palpatine didn't foresee his death on the Death Star. Would it be the? Although it is called a Death Star, so he probably should have not named it that.
Would it be the equivalent?
The irony.
David says, feels like like Filoni knows and respects that George doesn't like Mara Jade and isn't going to add the specific character into the Mandoverse. See, I don't think it's that George Lucas hates redheaded women who could use the Force. I don't think I don't think like that's the problem. The problem is
that's in my
Luke
Tinder,
Skywalker.
actually.
Yeah, Luke Skywalker going in and having a family seems to be like the more of the issue that he holds in that instance. And he wanted Leia to have children with Han Solo, who would then be the offspring that would continue on the Jedi lineage. And so that's kind of where they're coming at it from. But like I said, the story was never in the wedding. That is when the story dies. It's always in the flirtation. Like in that third Batman Nolan movie, when he's with Catwoman at the end, I'm like, I don't care about this. I don't want this. The cool thing is when Catwoman is doing Catwoman stuff and they have their flirtation and they're both on the quest together. It's not the marriage itself. And so, and we know that
they
that
killed Chewbacca. That was how they got around it.
Well, he's not currently married. In the current one, he's not married to her, but they do get it on the top of the rooftops in this last run.
Marcus, darling.
Yeah.
I'm not
Eartha Kitt as Mara Jade. We agree.
I don't have any panties on.
That's Luke speaking, actually.
Force panties. They enhance your force plus 10. Hawks
sand gets everywhere.
It does.
Plus 10 sand disruption. The original Snoke could have been more powerful and actually sustained damage from Luke. The cloning facility on Exegol ends up being what they. Oh, we can talk about this part. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of like opportunity there for Snoke and what that can mean, and who he originally was, or what he was a clone of, or
Sabath.
Was he? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, they could definitely take it into some fun places if they want to, because right now, what it ended up being was Snoke was just a puppet for Palpatine now. And boy, did that just kill the mystique and the fun of everything having to do with him. And if they could find some way to put some of that back into it, it would definitely be good.
We get Snoke flashbacks of his life, and he's going back home, and he's actually the best looking one out of his family.
Or maybe Snoke was real for a while, and then he died, and then.
Well, Snoke was supposed to be hot. Remember that? They were like, "What if we made Snoke hot and then made him young?"
Have you seen him? Of course, he's hot.
Yeah. It's a total snow show.
You into the 8-footers there, Max?
Yes.
Luke says he got a quarter way through the UFO stream, enjoying it so far, but I'm going to dip in and out for casual listening while doing chores. Yeah, Luke, you're not going to Tashi Station until your chores are done. That is the way it goes. Johannes asks,
his last name Winchester.
Why is Lucasfilm's marketing so bad? I'm gonna roll here like two ways. Number one, or I'm gonna play devil's advocate a little bit. Marketing Star Wars isn't easy. Like a lot of the things like that are easy about what we want, what would work for us is very, very obvious. But also what we want is like so insider that we would turn off general audiences in a lot of ways. So they have to make this happy medium of really getting people interested who don't watch every Star Wars thing. They need new people, not the same people. They need the same people to stay. They need new people coming in. And so it's definitely not easy. But where I think that they mess up is managing expectations. They don't do it at all. They are so secretive, thinking that if no one knows everything, their minds, like they really thought if we didn't know a fucking thing about Book of Boba, we were going to walk away going, that was Star Wars' Ben-Hur. It happened right now. That was the 10 Commandments of Star Wars. It should have been on the silver screen, on the biggest screen possible. And that's not what actually happened, because that's not how the world works. That's a lie they tell themselves to make themselves feel like, I don't know, like it's, if we keep everything a secret, everything's great. And when the secrets get out, it's not great. It's because they ruined it. That's the only way I could take it. But maybe that's me being egotistical and thinking that it has some way to do with what I do, but it's clearly like not the case. Like as children, I knew every spoiler from every Star Wars movie before I ever saw them, and I went and saw them and fucking love them to this day. It has nothing to do with it. It never has, and it never will. if you make something good, everyone can know about it, but the experience trumps the ability of what that plot point was. Every
no
time.
pun intended, right?
No
What do you think, Lexi?
No pun intended. But
I mean, that's how people have been going to see World War II movies. Everyone knows how Dunkirk ends.
what?
The only World War II movie that ever had a surprise ending was Inglourious Bastards. That's it.
Now I can't watch.
Yeah, it was a great twist.
Yeah. And then he got shit for that. It's like, at least he gave you something new. These movies have been ending the same for 50 years.
But well, that's what's weird. Like with Kenobi, there's so many aspects about Kenobi we know are a thing for sure. And I'm gonna give them a little bit of credit though. They were upfront about Darth Vader from the very start. That was the one time I could think of where they were managing expectations to promote the show, and it wasn't a way that was rather smart.
How many World War II zombie movies are there now? Because I think I've watched like 3 so far.
Too many.
Yeah, I forget Wolfenstein Set the Ground and then Overlord or whatever. But
yeah, I watched that Overlord. I was like waiting for it to get good, and it just never got good. I'm like,
what sound do you
Juju.
think Darth Vader makes through his mask?
Who?
What sound?
The breathing, yeah.
What? It's
For
a,
who?
It's a scuba.
I've always thought of it. I always heard Hooper.
Hooper?
Yeah, when he breathes. And he goes,
Oh, great! Now there's going to be an Uber commercial. There's going to be an Uber commercial.
no, I don't drive.
Darth
that
Vader. When Darth Vader needs to
name.
get around, what service does he use?
Get out of here.
And Max drives up.
Oh, it could be
I'm not a-
Uber.
I'm not
We gotta
driving
get on
Uber.
that. We gotta get on
Yeah.
that.
Different.
That's
Make
fun.
the shirts now.
Maz.
Filoni needs a PS5.
The Maz says Disney fucked up putting Maul in Solo. They now have an obligation to pay that off. I know.
No, they don't.
Well, I think they do, but they're not
They
going
do,
to.
but they're not going to. That's what I mean.
They're like Jason with department store credit cards. Thank you. Never paying this off. Bye. See ya.
Thanks for the shoes.
That's called stealing.
See ya, collections. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus Christ.
The Crawling Chaos says, I said it a few weeks ago. Obi-Wan and Yoda saved Grogu in a flashback in the Obi show. I don't know if that happens, and I haven't heard or seen anything about that happening. So I'm not endorsing it, but if they had done that, that would have been a very fun way of connecting things. I mean, if you did have a flashback and it was just functionally for whatever reason had to happen, and they are saving people in a brief sequence, that would be an opportunity to have Grogu put in there about why he is in there. But
I always intended for There Is Another to be about little Yoda. So that's true.
His name is Grogu.
I'm going to say that.
Grogu.
No, it really isn't.
It's
really
not Yoda.
isn't.
It's not another Yoda.
His name is Kenner. All right, but they wouldn't let me do that. I tried, Max. But
and then it says 20 years later, and he's all, my name is Kenner, but you can call me Ken. What?
No.
And then he pulls down his pants and he's just completely flat down there, like just like
he pees like Vigilante, right?
Nothing can touch my butt.
don't touch my butt. The Crawling Chaos says, we want Mace back to strike down the imps with furious anger. Yes, me too. But there's so much opportunity.
Do you think Mace is a mod?
Oh shit! He has like a little button-up shirt on, and he has like a little forced monocle. He's like, "Hey, everybody!"
Trying to hang with the cool kids.
Yeah.
Played by Phil
It's
Lamar.
got one glitter glove. You know.
Yes,
Like,
they deserve
shit.
to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
Hawk says, "Would be cool if this Jedi was a friend of Anakin's and knew that he went to Tatooine to save his mother. The Jedi could go to Tatooine in search of answers about Anakin, not looking for Kenobi." Yeah, my understanding is that they are on Tatooine looking for the Jedi straggler, and who is looking for Kenobi, who happens to be bringing trouble to Kenobi's doorstep. But David says, many great memories as a kid at Long John Silver's. The black pepper pirate hat was the shit. I never saw any kind of pirate hat. That
I
does sound
remember.
pretty cool,
I think I remember that.
yeah.
Or is that the place in Ridgemont High
I like Long John Silver.
that he worked at? The fish
Was
place?
that Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Was that a Long John Silver's you worked at?
I don't. It was like a knockoff.
Oh,
it was like a knockoff one.
It's like the McDowell's of Long John Silver's.
My buns have no seeds.
I read X-Wing's comment in Jar Jar's voice. 2-piece fried goober fish special.
Say it.
I can't do it. I'm not going to try.
Goober fish.
The crawling chaos. I could be wrong, but I think Rob is transmitting from the year 1999. Yeah, that's actually how we get most of the spoilers around here. Is that Rob is continually time looping, and he's just all over the place. So sometimes he just comes back and he's like, "Yeah, I watched the Kenobi show. Boy, does it suck when Mace dies again." And I'm like, "Whoa!" Right in the
I love
suck.
it when my friends from like high school go, "Hey man, you're living in the 90s. I worked on 2 90s video games. You know, I'm working on 90s comics. All I fucking do is live in the 90s." That's what I complain about Star Wars. Like, it never ends. You know, like, it never ends. I listen to STP. Like, it just goes. It's on a loop. I literally watched Monday Night Raw from 1993 through 97 on a loop. Like, I can't get out of this.
Shut up, bitch!
This is all I do.
X-Wing says, "Give me all the Grogu. I'm fine with it." But Kenobi needs to steer clear of all that. And it probably is. Luke says, "I could see Grogu being in the background in a scene at Mount Tantus. I don't think they'll give him a storyline in Bad Batch, though, especially if Jason's theory about Kenobi is right." Yeah, and I even doubt my theory is right.
Maybe there'll be a reference, but I don't think we see him.
Yeah. Ducky says, "An opportunity to sell a plushie of Omega holding baby Leia and baby Grogu. Disney definitely wants to make that money."
Omega.
Mm-hmm.
I think she I think that if that character starts to care about clone stuff, if that becomes somewhat of her mission or of her like point in life,
it's her call to action.
Yeah, then I could see them that actually making sense that she would care about Grogu or being part of the thing to save Grogu at some point or whatever. But I also kind of think that character was probably written or came into fruition way late and probably doesn't have a hand in anything that we're thinking that she could or should. But maybe she will later.
You know the paparazzi shot of Tim Morrison?
Yeah.
Omega.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. The Calling Chaos says Grogu might be sporting quite a package.
No, he's my little boy.
They're about kiwi size. You know what I'm talking about? I got the fuzzies.
Yeah. Otherwise, he'd be tripping all over it if it was. I mean, because he got that big of a stride.
Let's give the guy some credit here. He's probably a green bean and 2 peas. All right.
He's a grower, not a shower.
All I'm saying is he's known as edamame around the town.
Oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Little green bean.
Oh my God.
Edamame Skywalker.
I'm gonna pop you like a pea, like an edamame.
James is giving me the Sam the Eagle like groan. You know what I mean?
You're an American.
At least let Lucasfilm like wait 20, 30, 40 years until they make Grogu like cute, like hot.
Oh, hot Grogu is coming by next year.
Later. No.
Next year.
No.
Hotgrogu.com. Better get that URL now.
50 Shades of Green.
Donna says, with how Grogu's species ages, wouldn't it be a bit hard to age him up in the timeline? If he's 50, Din would be dead by the time Grogu's 55 or something like that. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is like when it comes, like I am of the opinion of
Mando's live longer than that, man. He wouldn't be dead.
Mando years. No, my take is that Din will die and that Grogu will take the Darksaber and become Mandalore, and you could do 2 ways with that. One is that he actually dies and then Grogu avenges him, or the other way is that he lives to be 70, dies of natural old age, and he's like 20 something, 30 years old, and we don't know if they age in a linear fashion either. Grogu may go from being a baby to being like an adult because he has all of this 20 years of memories apparently. Mm-hmm. So it's like his body is immature, but his mind might not be. We don't know how that's going to work.
I'd be okay with that. It'd be heart wrenching for sure, but I'd be fine if It's very dramatical. If Din were to die, Din were to die, and then he like passes on the lightsaber. I mean the dark saber.
Yeah.
Well, let's be realistic. I mean, they're never going to have any kind of major live action movie or TV show with Grogu as a major character outside of being the little puppet, because to do a live action version of Yoda as a main character is so cost prohibitive and limiting in terms of what you can do. That
James,
unless the technology
I don't know what world you
improves
live in.
James,
I don't know what world you live in.
Yeah.
Are you aware that Jon Favreau made The Jungle Book and The Lion King? Like, he is the one guy specifically tasked to do this at Disney.
What was the
He's Disney's James Cameron, even though they got James now because they bought him. But you know, like,
he's a bottom.
I'm telling you, like, if they do it, Jon Favreau will direct that film.
Bonham.
I don't see him going there. I just don't see it.
What, being a bottom?
Jason Bonham.
That doesn't mean anything. Like,
Jason Bonham's on tour too, doing the Led Zeppelin stuff.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Is it?
Yeah, his son John Bonham Jr. The guy, he's just as good as his dad. And whenever he plays with the rest of fucking Led Zeppelin. And they play with him. He's on tour. They're like 16 dates this year.
Yeah, he's got a 3-piece called the Winery Dogs with Richie Kotzen and Billy Sheehan.
Yeah. And then I'm Facebook friends with Aaron Hagar, Sammy's son.
Okay.
And they live up in Tahoe, and he's got like a hot rod shop that he runs and he does stuff. So, and he's got a little band too of his own.
We're talking about Grogu. Did I jump on?
I don't know.
I diverged, man.
What happened? Like,
I don't know
what are we talking about? Like, I don't know.
Nothing important, James.
Guitar time with Jesse and James coming right after the show, dude. Like what the heck is this?
I would watch that show if you guys do it, just so you know.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Just let me know what show we're doing so I can be there for that. Like, I don't know what to do.
I think Grogu joined Led Zeppelin. I think
bros and axes.
So it wasn't Jason Bonham, it was Power Bottom. I think that's what we settled on.
Yeah, Power Bottom. Big Bottom. Talk about bum cakes. My girl's good one.
Yeah. This is the Star Wars discussion I'm looking for. You said that at 12:18. Do you still mean it now? Is the question.
Yeah, it's like it's checked out by now.
Yeah. Sorry, I took a turn.
All right. Even Sheevan says, "Damn, I have a work thing for like."
Did you say Even Sheevan?
Is Even Sheevens. Yeah.
Even Sheevens, yeah.
It's a new Disney Plus show.
Awesome.
Then I have to have a work thing for like 10 minutes and I get into the comment and the shit goes off. Loving this discussion. All right. Thank you. X-Wing says, even after Endor, Palpatine's voice was still controlling her thoughts. Yeah, I think that would make sense.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even be mad if they were if that power ended up coming into play as something that he just does to people every now and then, you know? You have Leia giving a speech and he's just like, he's in there, you know, and he's just like, you will assassinate Princess Leia. You will assassinate.
He's making his own Jackass movie.
I saw the new Jackass movie. It's pretty good.
Is it?
Hawks Holocron, yeah, loved it. Hawks Holocron says, they got to help Snoke. He had so much potential. Yeah, he does. Like, I mean, it would, yeah, there's just so much. I mean, what if Snoke was like a rad dude? What if he was just a giant dude who was just like sitting around with his legs crossed, smoking weed with Luke, talking about the Force and doing that, and then he gets assassinated and they steal his blood, like you know what I mean? And now he's this weirdo Palpatine puppet. Like there's cool things that they can do with them.
They could totally still like flesh out and do course correction of.
Wait, are you talking about a Snoke fleshlight? Because that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crack in his head. Yeah.
And my turn was bad.
I've been telling John that for like 3 years.
You know, he was tall.
I tried to get it on Hasbro Pulse. They wouldn't do it.
He likes to put it in the freezer
and it has a
instead
pulse,
of warming it up.
You want a spoiler though?
Yeah.
Looking at Snoke's attitude and the overcompensation with the pimpering and the gold and stuff like that, I think he was hung like a Tic Tac. I think he was a little Tic Tac. Snoke definitely was a Tic Tac guy.
Really?
I wouldn't think so tall, but at the end of the day, with that attitude, he was a Tic Tacker. I bet you what happened was Palpatine didn't want to spring for all the cash, so he said, "You know what? Let's just make it Snoke's little guy a little bit littler, not bother growing that. We'll save some cash." Because
Snoke's dream of getting into the Galactic NBA was, dashed. He's gonna
Dash Rendard. Okay, you made me do it. You made me do it.
That's what I'm saying, John. Dash Renda. I'm telling you, man. Matt Berry is Dash Rendar. It's the perfect.
X-Wing says, I'll never forget when I first saw Snoke in The Last Jedi. I'm like, fuck yeah, real villain. And then 5 minutes of movie later.
Nope.
How do you say it?
If I remember right from X-Wing show,
you.
I think X-Wing was like really disappointed in that. But I actually love the moment when he died, because I was like, oh shit, Star Wars has never gone here. Like I was like, where is it gonna go? And I was always someone who watched Revenge of the Sith and was like, what would have happened if Anakin didn't get in the suit? And I thought that's what they were doing with Kylo Ren. What happens when you have Darth Vader and he's not in the suit? And I was like, that's gonna be Star Wars Mountain Dew Extreme, bro. And then there's like, no, just kidding, it's Palpatine the whole time.
Shit.
And I'm playing when they say Palpatine the whole time, but it was also just as much Kenobi's ancestor the whole time as it was Palpatine. They those ideas were going around constantly.
he was too confident in his X Games move for Kenobi, but Kenobi just said, "Yo, hey, not today, buddy, not today."
I'd like to
buddy,
see.
Yeah.
As I say, it'll be fun to see if the books and comics matter, if they ever do Snoke's backstory more in depth, because there's so many disparate stories.
You keep wondering if it will matter.
It's
like,
all over the place.
There's something with that.
He was a grocery store manager.
You can make a coherent story out of all that mess. Good luck. I mean,
Shop smart. Shop as smart.
Let me tell you how they don't matter. They're doing a Mando series based off the show. There's just an adaptation of the show. It's like, we're just back to that now. Like they can't do anything in front of a show. They got to do things behind. So it's just, I don't, 8 issues, not like a one shot. Like, I don't know. Like, I wish these comics meant something. I think it's the best place to tell really ambitious stories that can then be adapted. Whatever hits, whatever doesn't. But they just don't seem to grasp that concept over there.
Then it wouldn't be canon, Rob, and we can't have that. We can't have non-canon stories in comics. I mean,
I would like the
That's what
comics
I'm
to
saying.
be animated
Yeah,
series
I know.
too, like little animated series.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
like Jason.
I'm not against that either. Like,
That'd
you
be
know,
cool.
like,
Wasn't
that's
that
a
what
good
the
idea.
Forces of Destinies was kind of doing?
No, better. Like I actually like the whole '80s animation style. I don't know. There's something kind of like not homey. There's something like
You connect with them a little bit better than you do.
Yeah, it's like
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
Sorry, finish your thought.
No, it's just kind of like your I guess I'm tying it to nostalgia. It's just like,
Well, Kevin
Good
Smith
time.
and them were talking about once on Fat Man on Batman or whatever, Batman Beyond, what it's called. They were like, someone asked them, hey, pick like a modern day series to do a cartoon series off of or something. And then Kevin said, hey, what if you took the Zack Snyder Justice League, but you did like Super Friends with it, where it's all violent and shit, you know, like the Super Friends, and then they're, you know, destroying cities and murdering folks. And there is a way to do that, like 80s Star Wars look, but with the serious story to kind of play it against type. But it's a little too ambitious for them, you know. Like, I don't know, like they would just literally do like a droid story, but it's like a cartoon.
They got close with the last episode of Peacemaker.
I have to say though, the Boba animation that they have from the holiday special, I like that style.
Yeah.
There's just something about it that's just.
Max, did you ever see those covers that guy was doing for a while? I don't know the artist's name, sorry, but he was like doing like the old Marvel style covers for the Mandalorian after like every episode.
Yeah.
He would do like the cover.
Those are cool.
I'm like,
I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, and if I don't know if that new Mando series is just an adaptation of the episodes, but if it is, they should be doing it like that.
Yeah,
that would be.
Those
that
would
would
be
Also,
Boss Logic.
Also, was it Otis Frampton? I mean, did like 100 covers of the Jawa Adventures on his own. He drew and colored like 100 fucking covers, dude.
Otis Frampton comes
Otis
alive.
is. It's like Frampton. I can never remember. I know, you guitar assholes, dude. But anyways, it's fucking great work. That Jawa Adventures would be a great cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun. And I want to say I agree. I mostly agree with Jason's statement here on the first part. Grogu has honestly become more than just a toy mascot. I do think he is more than that, because he means more than, and I guess we could debate whether it's been earned in the story or not. I think that's fair to potentially debate, but Grogu means more to people than anything than nobody fucking remembers BB-8 today.
Who?
BB-8 is like Gary Coleman when Webster came out right now. Nobody
What you
remembers
talking about,
Gary
Jason?
Coleman. Yeah, Gary Coleman's getting beat. BB-8's getting like harassed for autographs and in the fights, but ladies getting arrested right now. And Grogu's over here.
No, you know what it is? It's when Family Matters starts off as a show, and then Urkel shows up and steals every fucking thing, and no one remembers Family Matter was a legit family drama show.
Yeah,
before that Urkel arrived, you know.
Yeah, that's.
And
true.
I mean, Grogu's more endearing than Urkel, but you know that's exactly what it is, you know.
Yeah, I do the Urkel sometimes. It's like one of my dance moves.
I can't wait for his strain of weed.
but yeah, right, yeah, or the Urkel weed, purple Urkel. Grogu has honestly become more than just a toy mascot. He had more character development and actual Jedi training than Rey ever had. So when it comes to like the story development of Grogu and Rey, I don't know if I necessarily agree with there being more story development, because so much happens to Grogu, but things just happen to Grogu. Like he's just a baby for the most part. Like he's taken through things, and I don't know if I could even necessarily pinpoint character growth. He didn't, you know what I mean?
It's a baby.
Yeah, he's made one choice in the whole thing so far. So, but I will say what's funny is there are similarities between them. Like Grogu does the Force heal thing, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at him! He healed him. He healed that guy." Rey does it. People are like, "Oh, you can't do that, you bitch, you Mary Sue bitch." You know what I mean? It's like,
has anyone called Grogu a Mary Sue?
I call him a green little Mary Sue bitch. Is what I call Grogu. Yeah, that's what I call him. Yeah,
it's actually we prefer the term Moth Sue in Star Wars universe. Moth Sue.
Someone's gonna get a knuckle sandwich.
knuckle sandwich.
Oh shit!
Ooh, throwing up hands, son.
I'm hungry. I would like a.
Mark Hamilton says, "Will Kenobi do an exasperated 'oh for fuck's sake' when he sees this gnarly kid coming?" I think so. And I'll talk more about that in a while, in a future story. Mark says, "Some of us are convinced that Omega will eventually get the white prototype type Boba armor and have it when she inevitably comes to life."
Oh, Frozen. Hello.
Oh,
Did
you froze? You froze for a second.
Yeah. I just had everybody reload on my screen real quick, but hey, we're back. Yeah, I'm afraid that yet there really isn't any kind of end game for Omega.
What?
I'm confused about that too. Really.
What you want, dog?
Like, I don't know. I wanted the same. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, right now there's not really any indications of very much of a plan for her, and we don't really know if they're going to, like, right now we don't know if Boba Fett and her even care about one another. We keep thinking that yet they do. Star Wars Story keeps sending mixed ideas on blood and biological family means. It doesn't have its shit straight. Like in one story, it's your found family, that's all that matters. In the next story, it's you're Rey Palpatine, and we're gonna make you were nobody, and it was a powerful idea, and now we're gonna make you a Palpatine. Like, it's very much Star Wars is stepping on its own toes very continually.
Ray Palpanoida.
Yeah, Ray Palpanoida.
Ray Palpanoida.
Yeah, I mean, it's so like who fucking knows?
Your skin gets so blue.
But I will say they really should just really come clean and say, here's when we're going to release the Bad Batch, because you're not going to get anything more out of it than everybody going, oh, okay.
Do you think it's going to be like a long series?
Nobody's going to be doing the Bad Batch. Bad Batch is back. You go, fuck yeah! We got the date.
Do the Bad Batch. Do the Bad Batch. They like the Bartman.
Bad Batch. Like a bantha. I'm doing the Bad Batch. Like a bantha, you guys. Like a bantha.
Like a
bantha. Like that's never going to happen. She hears you. That's not going to happen.
Super creepy, Rob. Never do that again.
That's how. If I ever go back to the club, that's the only thing I'm doing.
Oh my god, I can't wait to go to the club and go like this.
That was how Filoni wrote it, right? He's like, like a bantha. Yeah.
Like a panther, written for the very first time.
That was the best.
All right, Dave.
Luke looking over at Ahsoka, and then the next shot is he's like, "You're right."
Yeah, that was kind of like cringe for me.
That was great, though. I think.
Yeah.
I liked it.
My son just watches videos of Tamara Morrison doing like a bantha through the skies and stuff. That's like this whole YouTube meme thing that kids are all about.
There's a song that's called like a cholo.
Keep your pants on.
Like a cholo.
Do the bantha. Keep your pants on.
Luke says, "Who's ready for Grogu to evolve Pokemon style into adult Grogu?" Yeah. What if it turns out like what if he like spins like a cocoon and it comes out again? Like what if it's something you never even thought of?
Like a butterfly?
Like wild. You know what I mean? Like yeah, he like rehatches and stuff.
Snoke. He hatches as a Snoke.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
What if Yodas are Snokes with Benjamin Buttons?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if that's really Yaddle, just in reverse?
I mean, it could happen.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, Chris,
I've always wanted to do a reverse Yaddle. Actually, James, good call.
Trans Yaddle.
Australian
Linda
Chris
let me know.
just messaged me. Hey, dude, you doing a show today? I'm like,
Crispies.
Yeah. Character.
Is that watching?
Hawk says, my vote is stay hyped on whatever keeps you hype. Expectations should always be high. It's Star Wars. Yeah. I mean, it's true. Like, but at the same time, like we do see it get out of hand. Expectations and possibilities. And I will say though, when you do have like a show like Boba Fett and all of the rumors that were out there were so much more fun than what they did, that's when you know that I think that they kind of fucked up. They did some quality shit in there. I'm not saying that there's not some quality shit in the Boba series. There definitely is. Like the Sand person, the Tusken Raider episode is one of the coolest things they've actually done in a long time. I love it. But at the same time, to collectively say the whole cake tasted good, it didn't. Some only pieces of it were good. Mark Hamilton says, I think Grogu can talk already, but the PTSD has locked most of his memories and stunted his development. Luke unlocked a tiny piece of it in Boba Fett *6.
Yeah. Do you guys think that he's going to talk at all?
He's a little kid in Scrooged. Doesn't talk till the end.
Or at least
little tiny Tim.
There you go.
God,
I know I said this like when we were like on our own private Zoom. But I know that when he got shot by that training thing, he goes itchy, something like bitch, itch.
Yeah, that's a motherfucker in Star Wars. Huttese.
They do have to explain why Yoda talks in like a weird backwards speak. Because if you're brought into the order as a child, it's not like, well, that's his native dialect, and he's just, it's not like, he's like got some like old school.
Maybe he had something like dyslexia, and I'm not bragging on anyone who has that. I'm just saying.
Well, Luke in the Boba
maybe
Fett,
he has something a condition that.
It's called doing too much lizard, Max.
There you go.
He did so much, he didn't come back from it. It happened in the 60s a lot.
There's nothing wrong with me doing lizard, okay?
No, I'm not. I'm not judging, but I'm definitely saying if you do too much lizard, you start speaking backwards. Trust me. Jason said, what if Din walked into Grogu's sleeping area only to find him at some kind of an alien gremlin cocoon? Oh shit, Jason. Me and Jason, we are of the same paranormal UFO brain.
James, I don't think you're aware of the Project Force Woods. It's to feed a bunch of kids lizards, space lizards, and give them hallucinations, and they speak in riddles.
I came up with it in the 70s.
Yeah, I swear.
I came with it in the 70s.
Wasn't that what Luke told Grogu? That Luke's like was Grogu spoken riddles.
Jen would probably like freak out, like cry and stuff.
Don't let Rob
son?
know that Mark Hamilton is actually Linda Hamilton's son. Yeah, he knows all about all the James Cameron scoops. Luke says, Mark Hamilton, you're probably right. He was talking in Book of Boba Fett, but it was subtle. Yeah, he was sort of communicating. Subtle. Sheev is going to do his best to corrupt Grogu. I think that's how he already knows how to force choke. Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know though. Luke Skywalker was force choking Gamorrean guards, and he was just a little punk bitch. So
What's Snoke got under that gown?
kind of a punk bitch move, just going around choking people, with no safe word or anything. Come on, Skywalker. Mark Hamilton says, "What Snoke got under that gown? A snake? No, I told you, man. It's a Tic Tac. It's a rice. It's a little piece of rice.
He looks like a Ken doll.
It's how we're going to work UAPs into it's an unidentified aerial penis.
My breath needs
tic-tac.
something refreshing. Come here, Snoke. Just kidding.
You have white rice breath. Have you been sucking Snoke's little dick?" X-Wing says, "We never got our Kylo Ren Baja Blast." Come on, Taco Bell. The Baja Blast Zero or whatever it's called at Taco Bell. It probably makes you impotent, but it's fucking good. I like it with some Taco Bell. I'm not gonna lie.
So you know what this the whole Boba Fett shit made me, or no, not Boba Fett, the Naboo fighter.
Yeah,
made me start to go get like Taco Bell, which I hadn't eaten since the 90s, literally.
It made you hungry for Taco Bell?
Yeah, and I was eating it for like a week, and it was pretty good. I was surprised. I would always rag on my friends. I'm like, why are you eating that shit? And then when I ate it, I'm like, that's pretty good.
You know what a pet peeve of mine is?
What?
Is people go, "Oh, you live in Southern California. Why are you eating Taco Bell? It's shit." And I'm like, you know what? Taco Bell's not Mexican food. I love Mexican food. I eat normal Mexican food all the time.
It says run to the border. I don't understand.
It does.
Yeah.
Which border?
No. See,
But
it used to be.
Run to the bathroom doesn't have the same ring to it, Max.
True.
We all know that's essentially what they're talking about.
It doesn't everything. I don't get
everything in there comes out of a gun. They literally have like a sour cream gun, a bean gun, and the meat gun. It's just a big old tube, like a cocking gun.
I want a kitchen like that.
Yes,
I like that. Okay, what were you saying? What were you saying, Jason?
You can say something mean to me right now, and it will upset my stomach. But Taco Bell does not upset my stomach.
Upset my stomach either.
I've never had a Taco Bell shit in my life. I told James. Sorry, I said Jason. I told James, and he's like, "Well, you're gonna eat Pepsid," and I was fine. And I ate that, and I was asking all my passengers, "Do you eat Taco Bell?" They're like, "Yeah, it's pretty good." And then I finally ate that Dorito shell taco. Oh right,
Doritos Locos Tacos.
Yeah, it was okay. Do
they make a ranch?
Brave woman.
Huh?
Doritos Locos Tacos.
Is there like a Cool Ranch Doritos one?
Yes.
Is there?
Yes, there is. Yes.
Okay, I've never seen it.
The only one that's currently always out is the nacho cheese one. But yes, occasionally they bring out the Cool Ranch one.
All right.
Every time
Jesse's never been more sure of anything in his life.
Dude, my kid loves. That's the only thing my kid eats sometimes, dude. Is fucking Doritos Cool Ranch. It's the only chip.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's out of. You've been on like 7 dozen shows here, and that's the only time you'd be like, yes. All right. Yeah.
Facts.
I like Doritos.
Yeah.
Every time I hear Taco Bell, I just think of that line from Anchorman where she's like, "Oh, it smells like a diaper filled with Indian food."
Yeah.
Milk was a bad choice.
My favorite line in that movie is, "It smells like Bigfoot's dick." That's the best one. That's the best one. But
that's great.
One day I was like with my kids, and we're like talking, and I'm like, when I was like 7. I went up to Stockton to stay with my mom when she lived up there for a while. And they made these hot Doritos that were out for like a short time. They're kind of like the ones that you're eating now, but they were different. They were called Salsa Rio.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, my fucking kid thinks it's the funniest thing. He just picks it up and starts eating Doritos. He's like, Salsa Rio. Looks at me like I'm a fucking asshole. It's so weird. I don't know what it's about, but it makes me laugh. But, all right. Luke says, I get the details from the books, comics, retconned the first story reasons, but ultimately, I think they are finding their stride with how to introduce these characters with Favreau Filoni clearly respect. Yeah, I think you're right. I think when it comes to these live action television shows, there's a lot more time and space to play with characters and for them to experiment with ideas. And it probably leads to more development of like Rey. If Rey was in a television series that was a sequel trilogy instead of those 3 films, I think there would be more development of Rey. Like when you are introduced to Rey on Jakku, there's a ton of character development and storytelling going on with her when she's in her little house and what her day-to-day is. Like it's like quiet moments with her that they don't ever go back to again.
She get like stuck in a sandstorm and have to make it out,
But I mean, just like knowing her, like knowing about her and like what her life is like. And once you get to The Last Jedi, at that point, she's sticking her step into the magical world with Luke. And I understand that one. But when we get back to 9, there is no more character moments with Rey ever again. Just, wouldn't it be fun if she was sassing Poe Dameron was sassing her? Wouldn't that be fun if we wrote that? And they don't really, she finds out she's a Palpatine and it's just like, I could be evil. And that's about as far as they took it.
If she had actually killed Chewie, that would have been something.
Yeah. I'm glad she didn't, honestly.
And she's like,
but had she,
the whole reason they rebooted those comics, James. You know what I mean? And then they went and did that shit. I was like, these fucking dudes,
Yeah, right.
Look at this.
Mr. Momo says, as long as I look at the comics as fun little stories, it's fine. If I go into something I'm scouting for like canon lore, it's going to end up a letdown. Yeah, that's my problem is I tend to like do that. I tend to be like, what can I glean from this? What is this telling me about Star Wars? And then I will run into the opposite side of it where I end up liking it on its own by its own merit and then feel that it's just completely unacknowledged and doesn't matter to the live action stuff. And I feel like, well, now these things feel like 2 separate things for me. And that's why it doesn't work for me and why I only read the comics now. If my son's like, Dad, let's read a comic book together. And I'm like, of course, what do you want to read? And we look it up. Then I'm down, it's fun. But
well, it's an impossible mission to get each other from tripping over themselves since there's very little lead time with the comics versus like a live action motion picture. And things change on the live action motion picture that all of a sudden, we changed this and like, well, shit, we got this already. We're fucking locked in.
Yeah.
Like the Force Away or not Force, the Duel of the Fates script when the Lucasfilm licensing was working off that script or that idea in that direction, and then nope, just kidding. JJ's coming in, changing everything. So it's like, well,
fooled you.
Now you're stuck with a bunch of shit that doesn't match. No.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we have like that is like the real issue. Is I think it just comes down to them being so secretive though that it's literally impossible for them to show in any kind of way what's going on in a comic book and on screen because they won't let the people reading the comic really know anything.
Nope.
They just know they know a couple of okay, so we're gonna let you know that in Book of Boba Fett this person's in it, and that's all they'll let them know. And then they don't do anything right with it because they don't know what's going on with it. It's just
they're too secretive. You think
they are too secretive?
No, you can't see.
And the secrets, how often have they been kept? How often have the secrets panned
Not
out
good.
for them? And the one, Book of Boba Fett is really the only time I really think that it really panned out for them, and I don't think that they saw anything out of it. I think we could quantify it there and say they didn't get anything out of that.
Yeah. The only way the books and comics really work on their own is if they have their own area of the timeline to explore. And they started doing that with Legacy when they at the end of the Dark Horse run, where it was like 100-something years after Return of the Jedi, and no one had touched that. And that was theirs and theirs alone. But now it's like if they're trying to work in that Mandoverse area, they're kind of locked into a corner. They can't go anywhere interesting. So it's like, what's the point?
Well, like when it comes to like in like the Mando universe era, that time, that post Return of the Jedi era, as long as they don't, and this is where I'm a little bit like I'm not necessarily sure like Rangers of the New Republic's like a great idea to do in certain ways, is that if you make the people in it feel that the New Republic is kind of a joke, that it's this government is not anything, this is not fixing anything for us, none of this is working, and Leia knows that too and is trying to make it into a thing, is trying to make it happen, and it's not, because we know that Leia eventually goes fuck this and goes general, goes into a secret army and stuff like that. So I think it's okay to like take it that way. But you could, I mean, over those 30 years, you could have literally like real huge skirmishes and big wars that are what we saw in the movies, but not really as intergalactically as important, I guess you could say. Like if Mandalore goes to war with Naboo, in real life, two countries go to war. You go to World War II, you have a World War. You have all these movies off of World War II. You could literally do that on one planet in Star Wars if you wanted to, but you don't need to.
Yeah.
But so the whole thing is, it's just like what we consider to be like the macro. When in reality, the micro stories can be just as big, I think, if played properly. But
yeah.
But at the same time, who fucking knows with these people, man? Sometimes they they seem like they know what they're doing, and I'm like, you guys got it down. I believe in you. And then other times when I'm like, you guys don't know your ass from your elbow right now, do you? What happened? We're going through a divorce or something?
They're like,
I just did that thing.
Elbow.
Rob didn't see me. I did the same thing. I went.
you did.
Yeah, I looked at my elbow.
Jason says Star Wars movies are like a wise ancient alien telling you the story of his galaxy. The comics come off as if a younger teenage alien who sometimes likes to get high tells you the story.
Well, that should be more interesting.
Yeah, living, man. LIVIN, living.
Fandom Empire says, I made a live stream. It's a miracle. And Rob is not a ghost. Show my fiance is thrilled. Yeah, we got to have you come hang out. It would be great to have you hang out with us.
My wife hears that. I'm in all sorts of trouble. You know, that fucking conversation.
Oh, shit. It's already 2 hours, 7 minutes. We are done. We are done.
Hell no.
D-U-N.
It is time. It is time to call it a show, you guys. Max is going to sing us off. Sing the song, Max.
Fuck off.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. But anyways.
That wasn't meant to you guys.
First draft. We're working on
it. Bye, other Jason.
Bye, guys.
Jason, we got to do a show soon, pretty soon, man. Whenever you're free, hit me up. And yeah, thanks everybody on the panel today for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And thanks to everybody. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and make sure you become a channel member or a Patreon supporter. If you're a channel member, there's on certain days when it's channel members only, you can chat, and I will make sure to answer your stuff. A day like today, it was just anything goes. You just had to be a subscriber to the channel, you know. But yeah, and Revenge Guy needs to come hang out with us as soon as you are free next time. Let me know, Revenge Guy, and we will make it happen. And yeah, and thanks to everybody for being cool in the chat. We always have the best community, and I gotta say, I am impressed. You guys are pretty chill, and it's been fun. And I'm gonna try to play a video to end the show today. Let's see what this one is.
It's not about spaceships. It's not about spaceships. It's not about spaceships.